Hola, buen dia. I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Ross, and thank you for tuning in to our continuing adventure, what it's like to live here in Portugal. And if you're a first time viewer, thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, and definitely subscribe. If you've been with us for a while, as always, thank you so much for your support, your comments, your encouragement. It means a lot to us, and it helps us to keep on going.
So today we're going to talk to you about Guimarães, which is a town northeast of here, a little bit south of Braga. And we're going to tell you our perception, our experiences of visiting there. And we use the same criteria whenever
Yeah.
we go to these places. What do we look for? We look for the character of the small town or village.
We look for walkability, we look for transportation, all these. And of course, one of the things that we always are interested, we're interested in food.
And wine.
Yes, and wine. So we're going to go over some of these aspects of Guimarães. We've been there several times, and we absolutely enjoy each visit. And of course, we're going to tell you whether or not we think we could live there. But before we go any further, make sure you get down to the description below, because there is so much information that we've packed in there over the last several years on either taking day trips, about moving to Portugal, the different aspects of that. And also we have our very unique experience, which is called
Alegria de Viver.
So make sure you check that out. Guimarães is so special because, like we said, it's the birthplace of Portugal, but it also is the birthplace of the first king, Afonso Henrique, back in the 12th century. And there's all kinds of information on that as to how Portugal came about. But also, the town center has been listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2001.
Because it's a really great example of a well-preserved and authentic medieval town, which is now going into an amazing modern Portuguese city.
They received the European Green Capital Award this year, and also they received the distinction as a sustainable tourist destination. Can't ask for much more than that. And one of the first things we look at or take in is the character, how we feel when we're there. And so, what's your impression?
I can tell you how I felt. I felt a strong sense of community. Of course, we were there right before a holiday, but it was like the people all came out. They were on the plaza, they were dancing, they had music, and they had all kinds of events, and it was just like it was a big deal. It was just it was a feel. I don't even know how to tell you how it felt. It felt comfortable. It felt welcoming.
Yeah, the first time we went was right at Nicolinhas, which is in the description below. It's Guimarães is the only town or city in Portugal, and it may be a lot in Europe too, that celebrates Saint Nicholas. It's a week-long things. We were lucky enough that our Airbnb, everything was taking place, a lot of it right below our window, from the parade of St. Nicholas coming through to the early sunrise Saturday morning drum parade. That is fascinating. We went right down and watched that. But just the character, like Kathleen said, the town was out. There was so much there for families and people to do. And yes, it was the holiday, but you really get a true sense when you see the locals out talking to one another, hugging each other, greeting you, saying Bon Natal, Feliz Natal. So,
and all age groups, not just university students or high school kids. It's everybody, old people, young people, families. It was just I love that. It's just a whole combination of the whole gang. The next thing that we look for is walkability, because we don't own a car. We like to look at every place we go of like, where is everything, and is it walkable? Where can we find the grocery stores? Where can we find all the other things we might need, the pharmacia, the medical care, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and in Guimarães, very compact if you're living in city center. And that's where we would look at living, in the city center, because we like to be in the middle of things. And from there, the Largo, the Praça that we used as the central point, everything was like about a 15-minute walk to the grocery. There were several Pringo Dos, our favorite grocery store, was right there in the middle of town with a couple others surrounding. Freusch was right there. Continent was there. All of that is right in the middle of town. The train station, 15 minutes. The bus station, 15 minutes. So it was and it's relatively flat. There's a couple of small inclines, but nothing serious, nothing major hills. So it was very easy to walk around this city.
Comfortable with very easy. Can we go to the next thing?
Sure.
Transportation. They've got it all.
Yeah, the train station, like I said, 15-minute walk, and that's the urban train coming in from Porto. That pretty much runs on the hour. There is just in the description how to get your SIGA ticket if you're visiting, and also the bus station is right there. And then there's also bus service from from the Guimarães bus station right to the Porto airport. And I think that's like a 45-minute ride. And they leave Guimarães on a regular basis as well. The town also has their own city bus system,
Yeah, they do.
which is quite extensive. Even though it's a smaller area, there's several lines that can take you just about anywhere you need to go.
Yeah, they have a lot of urban, more, not rural, but more residential area out of the town center. Lovely. It's really lovely. But, for us, we like to walk. But we notice so many buses. Like, wow, this makes really just a hop skip for most everybody to come into town and go back out.
Yeah. I did take just recently a look at rentals. And there's a combination of right in the city center, the historic center. There's definitely apartments there. There's people. It's not just tourists coming here. There's people that live there on a day in, day out basis, because even in the old center, you see the butcher shop, you see fruterias, you see appliance stores, and then definitely farmacia. Everything is there.
Not just bars and restaurants or cafes.
Right.
Everything.
And then just outside of that, it gets a little bit more modern urban, some great looking apartment buildings, also, grocery stores and everything. So the rent I looked at for a studio apartment, around 500 euros, a 3-bedroom apartment was like 1,500 euros. We would probably look for what they call a T1, a 1-bedroom, and those range between 700 and 900 euros. And in Guimarães, there are so many places to go, so many wonderful little parks and gardens. Even up to the castle is a big park area, and that's all free. You don't have to pay anything to get in. Yes, you can pay to go into the Duke's castle and their manor house and all that, but you don't need to, just to stroll and enjoy the view around you. So that's one of the things that we noticed about Guimarães, that there were many little parks, and one in particular
is they have a great little, it wasn't little,
No.
a great city park. And it seems like it was about 25 minutes walk away through nice resident area. And the park was really sweet. They had like a stream going through it, and lots of green area and picnic areas, and like a trail. You could just walk and walk and walk and walk.
When it comes to food and wine, of course, that's one of our favorite topics. Guimarães has a lot to offer. One of the things that we were really impressed with is in the old city, right in the middle of this huge praça area enclosed by all the old buildings with many, many cafes. It's so inviting to sit there with a couple of glasses of wine and just people watch for the afternoon. And again, in Europe, nobody's rushing you to leave the table. You sit there as long as you want, sip on that glass of wine for as long as you want, get another one maybe. Who knows? But very, very great little praça and cafes right in the middle of the.
It's actually not so little.
Yeah, it's not so little. You're right. It's quite extensive. And then, if you have been following us and listening to us, we love to find those restaurants that draw us in where we feel it's a typical Portuguese experience. That means where the locals eat. And there was one place that we found by accident.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just drew us in.
Yeah.
Prato Cheio.
Yeah, Prato Cheio. Okay, this is crazy because where many people eat. Okay. Okay, this is not a cool little cafe or a restaurant. This was in a food court in the mall right near South Francisco. I think they call it
Yes.
the South Francisco Mall,
Yeah.
or shopping center. And it's a small food court. But Pratu Shayu, we tried. It's a family-run place.
Yeah.
Okay, you get your tray, you see all of these prepared foods, you pick what you want. The family is the like 3 generations of people back there, all working, all related, and you get your soup and your beverage, which could be wine or it could be a soda or whatever, or beer. You can get your coffee for later. You can get your salad. You can get your main plate with a
lot of
vegetable.
food.
You come out with a tray with it's pie. Oh, bread too, Lord,
Yeah.
bread.
Yeah.
This giant tray of food. Plus, they're so awesome. They've recognized us, of course. When we get fed well, we tend to go back. We've been back to them, and they recognize us like 3 months later.
Yeah. We
and they
walked
gave
in and
us-
was, oh, hola.
Anyway, it's a food court, so you find yourself a table and chair. And if they're not ready for you, they'll serve you the rest of this giant meal, and it's fabulous. And it's like I'm excited to go back there too. And
Yeah.
there's some other restaurants that you will see in the document below that we didn't get to try yet too, and then we're going to try them.
Yeah.
So, would we live there? Well, actually, really and truly, we really like it a lot. There's a whole lot that we love about this city.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely can see ourselves there on a day-to-day basis. A couple of things would be, as a drawback from where we live here in Porto, is transportation. Here in Porto, we can hop on a train and get just about anywhere in Portugal. Being in Guimarães, we'd have to get on the train to come to Porto and then change trains. So, a little extra there. The other thing is we really love the coastal weather here in Porto. Mild pretty much throughout the year. As soon as you move inland a little bit, like where Guimarães is located, the summers are going to be a little bit more warm and humid, and the winters a little bit cooler. So that's something that we would adjust to.
Right. I just thought of something else. Many people really, really love to be by either the river or the ocean, and we're on both.
True.
There's like Viana do Castelo is on both those also. Guimarães is not. There's no water that you're on.
As always, we have so much fun putting these videos, these posts together. So go to the what below?
The descriptions below. Don't miss it because we have great stuff down there for you.
So much stuff. And again, thanks for tuning in. Remember to like, share, comment, and definitely subscribe if you're a first-time viewer. And if you're a first-time viewer, you're going to get used to us saying,
What adventure are you on today?